Welcome to Around and Around, the OCD Circle. My name is Elizabeth, and I have been living with obsessive-compulsive disorder for over 60 years. I am not a therapist or a member of the medical community. I am just an ordinary person like yourself who will be sharing my thoughts and experiences with you, with the hope that you will feel less alone. If you don't have OCD, I hope you will learn some information that will help you understand this disorder better. Some of the topics I will be covering may be triggering for you as a listener. If so, I apologize in advance. Since I don't know what your triggers are, please refer to the episode summary in the show notes before listening to each episode. If at any time you feel like hurting yourself or ending your life, please call the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988 if you are in the United States. It is open 24 hours a day, and you will be connected with the nearest crisis center to receive immediate counseling and local mental health referrals. Now, on to today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Around and Around the OCD Circle podcast. I'm glad you're here. Good morning. I hope you're having a beautiful day so far. I wanted to remind you guys that this is not really my podcast, it's your podcast. So if there's something you would like for me to discuss, please let me know. Also, if you or anyone you know would like to come on and tell your story, you're always welcome to do that. Just message me at any of my social media links in the show notes. Today I'm going to be talking about a pretty uncomfortable topic, at least for me. I imagine it's uncomfortable for other people as well. We're going to be talking about depression and anxiety, how it can significantly impact daily hygiene habits. I'm going to be doing this raw. I don't have anything written down. I do have a bullet point list of ways that this happens. So as I list each bullet point, I'm going to talk about my personal experience. And then if any of you would like to let me know some of your experiences with these, I would love to hear them. So the first one is decreased motivation. Both depression and anxiety can sap motivation and energy, making it difficult for individuals to muster the drive to engage in self-care activities like showering, brushing teeth, or grooming. So before I go down this list, I wanted to talk about one of the times in my life where I was probably the most depressed I've ever been. That was the year 2006, I believe. And during that time, for several weeks, I would not shower. I was so depressed. Just to get in and out of the shower would have been a struggle for me. And I had a business and I would go into work every day and be around people not having showered. And I don't know, I think I was just so out of it, mental health wise, that I didn't realize how it was affecting others around me. And I remember going to therapy one day and telling her, I haven't showered in probably I can't remember the last time I showered. And she said, "Oh, I know." She says, "I can smell you." And I remember looking at her and going, "You can smell me?" And she's like, "Yeah." And like she was on the other side of the room. And I was so embarrassed. And it took that conversation for me to realize how really, really depressed I was, and that I was not even noticing how this was affecting other people. I can't imagine my family. My family didn't say anything about it. My friends didn't say anything about it. But luckily, my therapist came out and told me the truth. I still, to this day, when I get depressed or anxious, probably don't shower as often as I should. It's just not something that I have the energy to do. I'm not motivated to do it, especially when I'm going to stay home and not go anywhere. I figure nobody's going to notice, so why should I take the time to shower? You know what I mean? The only reason truly that I force myself into taking a shower is because of my hair. Because I don't like my hair to look oily, greasy, or I don't like my hair to feel greasy. So I can even remember back in 2006 where I would just dunk my head into the sink and wash my hair, but I wouldn't take a shower. I don't know if any of you have ever felt this way, and we'll talk about over showering later because some people shower an excessive amount of time, right? Brushing my teeth is a real challenge for me. I don't like things in my mouth, um, so therefore I don't like toothbrushes. I don't like toothpaste in my mouth. And my least favorite thing is to do dental floss. So I will go a long, long time without brushing my teeth or using dental floss. Surprisingly, my teeth are in pretty decent health, but there was a time in my life where I did not go to the dentist for 25 years. And I think I've talked about this already. And I was really, really lucky that my teeth were not harmed. I didn't have excessive cavities. I did have some gum issues, but it wasn't bad enough to where they had to do any kind of surgery or really bad treatment on my gums. But brushing my teeth right now is a real struggle, and um, especially the dental floss. And I will probably be doing dental floss right now, maybe once a week if I'm lucky. And I just have to literally force myself to do it. And then the other self-care activity is grooming. And by grooming, I guess they mean, brushing your hair, things like that, shaving your legs or shaving your face if you're male. Um, I think back then, yeah, grooming was a problem, but I'm pretty good about brushing my hair and things like that. So let's go to bullet point number 2, and that is fatigue. Mental health conditions can often lead to feelings of exhaustion or constant fatigue, which may result in individuals neglecting their hygiene routine because they simply lack the energy to perform these tasks. So, fatigue is different than decreased motivation. Decreased motivation, which we were just talking about, is like you just don't want to do it, you don't care to do it. And fatigue is that you're just too exhausted to even do it. And I think people who don't have good daily hygiene habits, a lot of times they're presented as being lazy and or that they just don't care. But when you have like a chronic fatigue issue, especially a physical or mental health chronic fatigue issue, just the mere amount of time and energy it takes to get undressed, get in the shower, get dressed, it can really zap it out of you. I mean, I know I take a lot of naps. I am extremely tired when I am depressed, and fatigue is a very big contribution to that. Number 3 is negative thought patterns. Depression and anxiety can lead to negative thoughts and feelings about oneself, including low self-esteem or feelings of worthlessness. This can manifest in neglecting personal hygiene as individuals may feel they are not deserving of self-care. I'm having to think about that for a minute. I guess, you know, when I get down on myself, sometimes I feel like, why am I bothering to do this? Why am I bothering to shower? Why am I bothering to put makeup on, wash my face, smell good? Nobody's going to notice. Those are the kind of negative thoughts that I get into. And I guess that means I feel kind of worthless. Why should I cut my hair? Why should I take a shower? Why should I brush my teeth? Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to notice. I'm not that important. So, yeah, I think number 3, definitely I can relate to that. How about you? Number 4 is avoidance behaviors. Anxiety can cause individuals to avoid situations or tasks that trigger their anxiety. This avoidance may extend to hygiene-related activities, particularly if they involve leaving the house or interacting with others. So my avoidance behavior is towards flossing. I get very anxious when I floss. I get very anxious when I brush my teeth because I don't like things in my mouth. I have to actually force myself to put that toothbrush in my mouth and move it back and forth for a certain amount of time. And so I believe my avoidance behavior is in the teeth brushing routine. I'm not really sure what they mean by hygiene related activities that involve leaving the house or interacting with others, but I'm not really sure about that, what that means. Number 5 is disruptive sleep patterns. Depression and anxiety often disrupt sleep patterns, leading to insomnia or oversleeping. Poor sleep can exacerbate feelings of fatigue and further reduce motivation to engage in hygiene practices. I definitely have poor sleep habits. I stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock every morning, usually listening to podcasts and playing games on my phone or my iPad. And I play the same games over and over again until they feel right. I could play for an hour and it feels right, but usually I have to play 2 to 3 hours before it feels right. Then I will say, well, if I win one more game, it's now midnight, I'm going to play again until I win one more time, and then I'll stop. And then I'll win one more game, and then I'm like, you know what? I need to win one more game, and I do it again. It's like a game I play with myself. And so I end up staying up super late, and then I have to get up early in the morning, usually. And then during the day, I'm dragging. So what do? I go take a nap. So all that does is keep me exhausted pretty much all of the time. But then when it's time to lay down and go to sleep, I don't go to sleep. I get up, play my game. It's just a big pattern, right? Around and around the OCD circle. It's just a pattern. Number 6, hyper focus on symptoms. In some cases, individuals experiencing anxiety may hyper focus on physical symptoms such as sweating or body odor, which can lead to excessive grooming, or conversely, avoidance of grooming due to fear of judgment. So, this would apply to a person who has contamination OCD. They bathe over and over again. They wash their hands over and over again. They never feel clean. They're just constantly doing this. Or, sometimes you have someone who is performing these rituals over and over again to keep themselves safe or to keep someone else safe. Avoidance of grooming due to fear of judgment. I guess that means that maybe this person feels like they're not doing it correctly, so they just don't do it at all. Number 6, hyper focus on symptoms. I've never had that. I've always been the opposite. Never taken 3 or 4 showers a day. I've known people who do, though. And I think it's, I knew someone who had children, and from the very time they were born, they had to take a bath in the morning and they had to take a bath at night. And it was imperative. It was the rule in their house. And I feel like that was kind of setting these children up in the future to hyper focus on hygiene. I could be wrong, but I just remember thinking that, wow, that's a lot to put on a kid. Number 7 is lack of routine. Depression and anxiety can disrupt daily routines, including hygiene routines. Without a structured daily schedule, individuals may find it challenging to consistently engage in self-care activities. And this is true. I did better at brushing my teeth when I actually wrote them in my planner, but I haven't done that in a long time, and I would check it off twice a day, morning and evening, brush my teeth. This is reminding me that maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to put showering in my daily routine. But I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get up one morning and I'm going to see shower and I'm going to go, you know what? I'm just going to skip this today. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. Maybe not so much with the toothbrushing because it doesn't take as much time, but it takes a lot of time and energy to take a shower. It really does. When I get in the shower, I don't take a super short shower. Okay. And we have a swimming pool, and one of the reasons why, I mean, I love swimming and everything, but one reason I don't swim every day is the showering issue. Because if I want to swim for an hour, then it's going to take me at least 30 minutes to take a shower, and then somewhere in there my hair needs to dry, and it just becomes a pain. So, lack of routine. I'm going to try to make myself accountable this week and write toothbrushing twice a day on my planner and see if that works. The last one, number 8, is social withdrawal. Depression and anxiety can lead to social withdrawal or isolation, reducing the perceived need for maintaining personal hygiene, especially if there are fewer social interactions to motivate these behaviors. That we just talked about that a few minutes ago. During COVID was really, really rough because we weren't leaving. And so my hygiene routines really went to pot at that time because nobody was seeing me. Nobody was around. And, you know, I didn't care. So maybe scheduling time into my week where I am around other people, maybe that would make me care because I go to work twice a week into the office, and so I always make sure I take a shower the morning before I leave. So those 2 days are taken. Those 2 days are definitely shower days. Whereas if I would go somewhere every single day, now I'm not talking about like going to the store. Like I go to a store every Monday morning and shop for my business, but I'm talking more about meeting friends or going to church or going to some kind of group. And I need social interaction anyway, so I need to start thinking about ways that I can get out and meet other people and do things and, have lunch with somebody. I mean, I should shower before I do that, right? It's important to note that the severity of these effects can vary greatly from person to person and depend on various factors, including the individual's specific symptoms, the presence of other mental health conditions, and the level of support available to them. Professional support from therapists, counselors, or mental health professionals can be crucial in addressing these challenges and developing strategies to manage daily hygiene despite the impact of depression and anxiety. While I will say that this episode has been very uncomfortable for me, I um, talked about some things that I haven't talked about on this program before, and it's embarrassing to me. And I know there's people who I know are going to listen to this episode, but I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I talked about it. I feel a little bit better. It's given me some things to think about. Writing toothbrushing on my planner, for instance, trying to get out more socially so that I have a reason to be clean, and just trying to take note of how my hygiene affects other people. It's not only healthier for me to be clean and groomed, it's more pleasant for other people around me. But if I don't have other people around me, then I tend to get stuck in that rut, and I want to get out of that rut. And if you're in that rut right now, I hope that you will do some things this week and the next week and the week after that that will help you pay more attention to your hygiene, and I wish you all well. I hope you have an amazing week. I'd really like to see you on our Facebook page. The link is below. We'd love to have you. We're a small group, but it's nice to talk with people who have obsessive compulsive disorder and kick some ideas around. And I will be here bright and early next Monday morning, so stay tuned for that. And on Thursdays, I have midweek motivation. I hope you'll tune in for that. And until next time, remember that OCD, while it cannot be cured, it can be managed. And I'm living proof of that. I'll talk to you soon.